Hello, hello, and welcome to 1111 Oracle. And today we are going to delve into find out, what do others admire about you? What do others admire most about you? What do people who know you appreciate about you? And not even people who know you very well. It could be people who you know just sort of in passing, or even strangers that you meet. What might they admire about you? So it could be a whole bunch of different types of messages depending on what needs to reach you the most. But the main message is, what do others admire most about you? Okay, so today we're going to get right into it. We're going to do a little bit of an interesting choice selection. So the choices are, amongst the items that I have here in my background for the video. So choice one, as you can see, choice one is a dried orchid flower. Choice one is a dried orchid flower. Choice two is a mermaid. A mermaid in the moonlight, the painting. Number two is a mermaid jumping into the moonlight in the painting. Number three is the elephant, the incense holder elephant, number three. And number four is this air plant right here. Number four is this air plant right here. All right. Okay, we're ready to get going with number one. Okay, so number one, let's see. What do others admire about you? All right, I have my Oracle of the Unicorns deck, and I'm going to go ahead and shuffle up the cards. And we're going to pull out what others admire about you. Okay. So we have passion. Do what excites you. Get fired up about your life. Increase your energy levels. That might be a message that's important to you that you might need to hear, kind of like a side message, but I'm going to go into, of course, what others admire about you. Expansion. And for expansion, we have spread your wings and soar, share your message and shine your light. Show the world what you're made of. Okay. Let's take a look here. Let's place these and let's get right into it. Let's see here. Whoops. Just trying to be artistic. All right, let's get this going in the back. And this guy is going to be right here. Right here. Okay. So what people admire about you is definitely just, you have this charisma about you that is unmistakable. And even if you feel awkward sometimes after social interactions, because I'm getting that there are times when you walk away from a social interaction and you're kind of feeling like you said something wrong or you did something wrong, but what you're actually doing is you're picking up other people's energies. You're an empath for the most part in this group, or you're an HSP, highly sensitive person. Take which one, resonates with you the most. But you're someone who definitely takes away the residual energy of others that were in your space or that you were exchanging energies with through communication or just even being present in the same room as others. So you're very, very sensitive. You're very, very empathic, and you pick up other people's energy very easily. So it's quite normal to feel confused afterwards when you're feeling certain emotions and you can't really understand why you're feeling what you're feeling. So basically what I'm getting here though in general is that you really don't have anything to worry about when it comes to what other people think. First of all, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Of course, considering other people's good suggestions and critical advice, especially in conjunction to, someone coming from a place of love and wanting you to be your best self, is a completely different story. But in general, if someone doesn't value you and you're trying your best, well, maybe it's time to move on from that kind of person or that situation. And what I'm getting to is you are a little bit of a heartbreaker, so you may be physically very attractive. There's something very infectious about your laughter, about your personality, so people are very drawn to you. You're very magnetic as a person. You're a force to be reckoned with. And you do, whether you are an extrovert or an introvert, I definitely have a mixed bag with this group. Whatever you are, your energy is very magnetic and others are very drawn towards you. If you like the MBTI type of theory, a little bit of pseudoscience for you, but it's fun. Take it with a grain of salt, of course, like any personality quiz, even just like this tarot reading that's for, a general group of people here. Always listen to your own intuition, your own logic, your own judgment, and your own research first, and make sure that whatever the information coming to you makes sense and resonates with you. That being said, if you are into the MBTI theory, you may want to look it up if that sounds intriguing to you. You may categorize yourself as an ENFG or an INFG, but not necessarily. Okay, that could be an interesting dynamic within this group. But yeah, you have this sort of amazing energy that others are just drawn to, whether you like that attention or not. Your spirit guides are generally saying too that, and I'm going to move the card, you've been trying to hide from the spotlight. Okay, you've been trying to hide away, and Spirit is not going to let you hide. So you see how I'm trying to fix the cards, and they don't seem right. I don't believe in coincidences. I think that's also a message coming from Spirit. Just the fact that I'm having a little bit more difficult trying to figure out my cards, and you need to shine. You see that little bit of sunshine that's coming out from my lantern in the back, and then you have the little bits of light that are trying to peek out from the side in the clouds. So you have this light that just wants to shine. It comes from within you, and it just wants to shine outward towards everyone around you. And, not everyone's going to appreciate your light. You'll certainly have haters just like anybody. Anytime you try to step into your authenticity, there will always be someone who is threatened by that. And when you come into your power, that should be not in, of course, abusing your power over others, but just when you come into your confidence, right, and your full force, there will always be people around you that will be a little taken aback and threatened. And with this group, I'm getting that you do attract a lot of, there's certainly a lot of toxic people around you, and even negative entities. You are a very psychic person, and you're an empath, and so you naturally draw in, all kinds of energies, from negative energies from people to entities. They're just kind of all curious about you. And so there's this interesting seesaw effect of these negative types of vibrations from people or from entities around you. They're drawn to your warmth and to your light, and they also want it for themselves. Yet they know that they can't, logically, they know that they can never really have it for themselves, because it's interesting when people meet you, especially they feel that there's something about you that is different, and they can't really place it. And they try to figure out, is it something about your appearance? And no matter what they try to figure out about you, they can't really place what it is about you that's so different. And they feel like you are connected somehow, even if they believe, if they, whether they do or they don't believe in anything to do with, spirituality and the paranormal, etc., esoteric, the occult, okay, whether they believe in all that stuff or not, it doesn't matter. They can't help but feel that there's something about you that just is otherworldly and somehow very connected. And so however these other people or beings want to take from you, they realize that they just can't. You have this, as I said before, you're a force to be reckoned with. And if you look closely at this fiery horse, this horse's energy is this fire. So you are the fire, okay? And I remember I said that you have a light within you, and it's more than just you having a light within you. It's like you are the light. Like you are this fiery kind of energy. And so it would be, in order to take energy from you, you would have to give it up willingly. And maybe you've been fooled by others in the past, but you've quickly learned to protect yourself from these energy vampires or toxic entities and people. And if you are fooled a little bit, you're not fooled for very long, and you'll quickly flip that switch and protect, whether it's yourself if you need to, or those that you love. And you just keep your home a sacred place. You keep your loved ones safe with your energy. You're like this spiritual warrior that's here to protect others. It's really powerful to be in your presence, and animals and children generally feel safe around you. Even if you have kids or you don't have kids, or you want to have kids or you don't want to have kids of your own, or you have a pet or not, none of that is really relevant. You make the, young humans, basically, who are generally more connected to spirit, and animals who are nonverbal, who are very connected to spirit as well, they recognize this purity within you, and they feel safe. They know that you come from the light. And so that because you are a good person, it's just this wonderful, very almost welcoming, cozy feeling just to be around you and your energy. It can be very calming to a lot of people. And you may get that, oh, wow, people might say that, oh, this person, they never react that way around anybody, but you or this animal or whatever it is, whether that's a child or an animal or just, another adult or beings generally act more laid back and relaxed around you because you have this very intensely charged, high vibrational energy. So being in your presence almost feels like meditating, if that makes sense. People might open up more and talk just because they feel comfortable. People might feel light around you. People feel, if they were anxious, they feel calmer. If they weren't able to focus, they might be able to focus. And you can also do the opposite, where when someone comes into your space and they're not welcome, and you cut them off in the swiftest way that requires the least amount of energy for you, in a way that could benefit all involved, you will find that a lot of times those people are shocked and they're left kind of like just stunned at how fast you were able to sneak in that attack move, and they weren't expecting it from you, kind of thing. So you can definitely come off as very shocking and disruptive, electrifying, to those entities, beings, people that are looking to take from you without giving anything in return. And or if they're coming from a place of envy or negative vibrational energies, where they don't want your highest good, and they're not coming from the heart, from love. So yeah, you can definitely be shocking to these people. It's kind of like they'll feel sorry that they messed with you, just because you bruise people's egos, you bruise their perceptions of reality, you change people's perspectives if they're willing to take the lesson, when it could be a really enlightening journey and ride. If they're resistant and they push what your messages away, then they might feel more frustrated about themselves. They might be in a negative place. You have a lot of wisdom and you will have a lot to share. That's not to say that your ideas are the most important. Everybody has something to share, but you are someone who has often been silenced in the past. And now is the time for you to just open up and share your needs, your wants, your feelings, your creativity, something about communication that you're letting loose these days. So people admire your creativity. People are very drawn to you. They find you very magnetic. They find you very appealing in a way, in all the ways that you can find someone appealing. So just think of how might others find you appealing. They certainly are drawn to you, whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, and whether you want to be in the spotlight or not. You're destined to somehow bring this higher vibrational energy to Earth, and this requires you being a leader and in the spotlight to a certain degree. So what do people admire about you? Whether they know you or not, they admire your presence, the way you make them feel. You're a mystery to people and they can't figure you out, but that's also something that they admire about you. It makes you like an interesting enigma or puzzle. And every time someone comes up with a theory, or they might come closer to some kind of understanding of who you are, they learn something new about you, and then that might totally throw off their original theory. And so the quest to finding out who you are continues, except no one ever can figure you out, except for yourself, which is very cool and very powerful if you ask me. I think it's always powerful to just be a little mysterious, to keep people guessing. And the thing is, you can figure others out really quickly. So that's the paradox there. But yeah, people are very, very, very drawn to you. They like being around you. You're almost like a drug to people, which, you have to be careful with. Make sure that people don't overstep their limits and boundaries. And of course that cut toxic people out and away from your life. But yeah, the right people, of course, will do anything for you because you do so much for others and you make others feel so good. And yeah, very cool, very cool. So I like that reading a lot. I hope you liked it too. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. All right. Number two, what do others admire about you? So I have my Oracle of the Unicorns deck here. And I'm going to go ahead and shuffle, and we're going to find out what others admire about you. Okay. So you have courage. You are safe. Fear is an illusion. Set strong boundaries. That may be a message for you. Okay, or I don't know, somehow this might fit into a certain aspect of who you are, your personality. We have trust. So leap into the unknown. Have faith and move forward. Believe you will fly. Very interesting messages that go very nicely together. Courage and trust. Interesting. Well, right off the bat, obviously, I think you're certainly someone that people feel that they can trust. There's something about you that they admire. If you're a friend, you're like that. If you're a friend to someone, you're a perfect friend. You're someone who people can really depend on. You make people feel reassured, like, oh, thank God there's, so-and-so in my life because I can always count on them. When I'm down, I can always count on them. When I'm sick, I can always count on them, whatever the story is. And you're not afraid to, stand up for what's right. And people appreciate that about you, that you open up, you speak from the heart. You're not afraid to say what's what in the right situation. You're also the kind of person that you're not afraid to open up and connect with others and share your own personal experiences. And you really, really love to connect deeply with others. You may have a lot of significant Scorpio placements or Pluto placements or 8th house placements in your birth chart when it comes to your relationships with others, or just the way you come across in general. So, because especially we're talking about what others admire about you, this is going to be some kind of placement that has to do with, relationships, because this is how others, right? This is how others see you. This is how they view you. This is what they admire about you. Whether you feel this is true for you or not, others really appreciate that you're not afraid to open up and you're not afraid to be the first one to be vulnerable. And that automatically makes people trust you, and that makes people feel safe, because, sometimes it's pretty scary to open up, especially when you're meeting someone for the first time, or you're trying to build a relationship, whether with, in friendships, casually, socially, or at work, whatever it is or with clients, if you have clients, if you work with people in a company, in a business, you build a really good rapport with others because you're not afraid to say, hey, this is who I am. And if you don't like it, tough, big, tough noogies, kind of thing. And people like that about you. People like that you are so open in that way. And so you might be, by the way, a really, really good business person just because you know how to get other people to trust you. You may just be, a very good caretaker in general, or some kind of support worker, or maybe you are a therapist and you work with a vulnerable community, perhaps children, perhaps, I don't know. It really does depend, but you might work with a vulnerable group of people where it's very, very important that they trust you, because in order to help this population, there needs to be, they need to open up, be vulnerable, so that you can get in there and provide them the support that they need. So that may resonate or not. If you're not supporting a population or a community or whatever, it could be your own family, it could be your own kids, or you could, your friends. You could just be that kind of person that is the strong rock for everybody, right? You're that figure that is there. You're the shoulder to cry on. You're the ear, you lend an ear to listen to others when they're going through difficult times. You're really always there with a trusting hand, and people really, really appreciate that about you. I think people also, the people who are closest to you and the people who care about you the most, especially in particular, I'm seeing an angelic spirit guide coming through. I don't know if that resonates with you. Some people might say, oh yeah, I'm really connected to Archangel Michael or Uriel or Raziel, I'm hearing for some of you. But that's not necessarily the case for everyone. Some of you may have a relative that passed away that, is now an angelic being, and take what resonates with you. But there is some kind of spirit guide that's an angelic being that's watching over you, and they are saying to find time for yourself, to relax, to take care of yourself, and to make sure that you don't, your water doesn't run dry. Because if you don't have anything for yourself, if you don't have any energy for yourself, then you are going to be feeling very, very tired and used and resentful of others. So you got to really be careful of that. Now, this card came out, it just fell on the ground, and it says adventure. I really just want to show you that. I'm not going to place it in the reading. I just want to say that maybe on a side note, there's some kind of an adventure that you're embarking on. Are you traveling somewhere, even somewhere close by, locally? This could be the encouragement that you need to plan some kind of a vacation that you've been thinking about, or go on that trip that, whatever it is, that trip that you've been really wanting to make. Trust that everything will go well with something that you're planning, an adventure of some kind, even if it's a long-term, travel plan. I don't know. There's some message about travel that's important to you. So beats me. Sometimes I get a message from spirit and it's like, I don't know what the context of the message is, and I'm just being told to pass it along, kind of like the messenger, right? So I don't know what this message means to you, but something about travel. Spirit really wanted me to reassure you with that and let you know everything's going to be okay, everything's going to go well. And I don't know, something exciting about travel. So I don't know, I'm really excited for you because I love traveling. So comment down below if that makes sense. If it doesn't, maybe it's a metaphorical significance, traveling, moving, changing, shifting mentalities, something about your life changing, and then you're embarking on a new adventure, starting something brand new, maybe even moving. I don't know, but something's changing, something's shifting around. So yeah, just comment down below if that's true. I don't know, I'm really curious. to see. So yeah, but people just really, especially those who really care about you, they really get concerned about you, that you're running around in circles and you're helping everybody and you're being everybody's mom or dad or whatever. Like you could be the mom of the friendship group or the dad of the friendship group, you know what I mean? And that might resonate with you, or you may literally be a mom or a dad or whatever. But whatever you're doing, you tend to take care of others' needs, and sometimes at the expense of your own, and sometimes you put your own needs at the back burner, and and this can take a toll on you because hello, you're gonna run yourself into the ground, and you're gonna wear yourself out. So yeah, that message is coming through really, really strongly, to make sure that even if you have to schedule in me time, like your own alone time kind of thing, or free time from taking care of everybody else, even if you're the kind of person who, if you don't see it on the schedule, then it doesn't exist, and you can't go with the flow unless you have to have a schedule kind of thing. So, just put your free time, whatever, your alone time kind of thing, or your me time, your you time, in your schedule. Make a schedule, put it on your to-do list or whatever, write it on your calendar and your phone, put some reminders, whatever it is. But that message is coming out really, 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 really strongly to you, because as much as, people love and appreciate all of the things that you do for them, they do see some people at times taking advantage, and those people who really care about you don't want you to be taken advantage of anymore like that. And it's just, just for your sake, for your own mental well-being, your own mental health and emotional well-being and all of that. It's really, really, really important just to make sure that you satisfy your wants and needs before you go around helping everybody else, because you do such a beautiful job of being open and receptive to others, but really make sure that you put that care into yourself as well. So thank you so much for joining number 2, and I look forward to reading for you in the next video. All right, number 3. So number 3, I'm going to shuffle the Oracle of the Unicorns deck, and we're going to see what others admire most about you. Interesting. Okay. So I'm getting very like Empress vibes, like if I had chosen to read from tarot cards, I'm getting, the Empress vibes. Nature, prosperity. Okay, I'm going to place the cards. And the reason I say that is because I always think of nature, Taurian things, and abundance when I see the Empress card. So there's something about you that is just very abundant. And how do I explain that one? It's not necessarily like you go around with super expensive clothing and items around you. You may be well off in that sense, but it's more to do with your general self-expression. You come off as a very earthy type of energy. You may be an earth sign, or you may have a north node in an earth sign. I'm getting as a polarized option, it's one or the other. For example, you may be a water sign, but your north node is in an earth sign or something, signaling that your life path is a very earthy path, or one where you have to get very grounded or practical or something like that. Something interesting like that. Now, you are the kind of person who other people feel like you have it together. Other people feel like you're just very with it. You know what's what. You know what's up. You know what's in the news. You're a very intelligent person. You're a very down to earth person. I think that's the best way that I can put it. You're a very down to earth person, and you just ooze off this vibration of pragmatism, practicality, and being laid back, taking things as they come, but you just seem to draw in a lot of good luck towards you all the time. And people get that sense that you're just this person that is you have like a magic, it's almost like you have a magic wand or you have a magic lamp stacked somewhere, stored somewhere in your home, because you seem to just draw in a lot of good luck and a lot of good energy to you. And this is because you have this sort of Zen, calm energy about your spirituality, and it's a good balance between your down to earth vibes. And because you're so grounded, you're so well anchored into the earth, so well rooted, energy can channel through you very, very easily. And instead of it just kind of coming in and out and being chaotic and not manifesting itself, when you're someone who is very in your head, you can have all kinds of ideas, but then they don't really manifest because you're not grounded. In your case, you are able to create abundance around you. Now, if you weren't aware of this ability, you may want to look into the concept of the law of attraction, The Secret, right? That idea, although of course that's an oversimplified understanding of the law of attraction. Always exercise your own judgment and your own intuition when it comes to those things. But you may also want to look into the psychic ability of manifestation. So you're definitely someone who, when you are able to fully tap into your power and your strength, you're going to be the kind of person who just manifests so easily. So when you're having an off day, you may notice that sometimes you manifest situations and circumstances, etc., that don't really align with what you thought you were putting out into the universe. But it's because you're so earthy, you're so rooted to the ground that you're spiritually inclined as well. So this is a really dynamic combination, a very powerful combination. In my personal opinion, people with a lot of earthy kind of influences sometimes, who are very spiritual people at the same time, can be some of the most powerful psychics, because you have this power to create and manifest, whereas because some others are not as grounded as you, it may be harder to bring those kind of concepts into reality. So if you feel like you're not that grounded, which is, I think, quite rare in this group, because I think a lot of you are, but if you feel like you're not, it could just be that, you might just want to give yourself a break. You might just be really tired. You might need more sleep. Might need to get into better eating habits or exercise habits, or just get into some kind of a good health routine that might be appropriate for you. But generally speaking, if you're not already feeling very grounded, your spiritual path, who you are, your expression is leaning towards being very grounded and earthy. So if you're not right there now, you will be, as long as you are going towards your highest potential. And this is quite beautiful. This is quite strong. Whether you feel this internally or not, people around you feel a sense of, being reassured when they're around you. They want to ask you for advice often on how you just draw in so much luck to you, but people feel that just by being around you, some of your good energy and attracting light luck might rub off on them. And you have this, so you may want to, in some cases, be careful about frenemies. It seems to be kind of a theme with all of the groups where there's like possibly some toxic people around you, some envy going on, right? Where people want, what you have. But you have so much and you're so humble about it. And yeah, you just have this super earthy, grounded energy where you have so much luck and you just draw in so much goodness to you. And people admire that about you. People really want to know how you do it. What's your secret? And you don't know how you do it. You just, it's like you have the Midas touch, it's like everything you touch turns to gold when you're in a good space. Now, the irony, of course, is that, of course, King Midas turns everything to gold, and including the people around him. And we want to get into that story, which we won't. But so keeping in mind with turning everything to gold, well, turning everything to gold is not a good thing. We do appreciate having flesh and blood around us. Maybe not a golden person becomes an inanimate object, not fun. But the idea is, as long as you balance out your gift of manifestation with gratitude and humility and appreciating that you will have what you need at the right time in the right place, and that challenges are there just to help balance out a lot of the good luck that you do have. If you think of it that way, then you may have kind of a different idea of how your life is beneficial to you and in what ways it's beneficial to you. You have this just this awesome beautiful energy to you. I appreciate people who are very grounded and down to earth. I often seek them out in friendships, I noticed. And I think I always just admire how people who are very grounded approach problems and difficult situations at times, which with such a cool, calm, and collected approach. And even if you're feeling kind of nervous and different kinds of emotions, you always seem to keep it together somehow, and you always sort of figure it out in the most efficient, most productive way for you, and you make things work. You make people feel comfortable and at home. And yeah, people admire a lot of wonderful things about you. And so that's just the main energy that you give off. It's just this very grounded, down to earth vibe. And people love that about you. They love it about you. They admire that about you, and they wonder how you do it. Remember, you are a manifester, so definitely tap into that ability. If you haven't already, take a look. Law of attraction, manifestation, The Secret. Okay, take a look at those concepts. All right, number four. Let's take a look at what others admire about you. What do others admire about you? you. Okay. So you have cycles and possibility, which is very interesting. You go through a lot of changes, a lot of transformations, and people really admire how well you're able to just rise from the ashes and become who you're meant to be in different scenarios, in different situations. And it's like, no matter how many times like life knocks you down and forces you to change your perspective, your approach, or your look, or whatever it may be, you always get up with a punch, and you know what to do. You transform and you become something just absolutely amazingly gorgeous and powerfully beautiful every time. You become stronger every time. So let's see here. What do others admire about you? It's almost like you're indestructible. You're impossible to beat because you keep changing direction and confusing your opponents. And even people who are in rivalry with you admire you and respect you because they see that you're always fair. You never boast about yourself in an inappropriate way. You're not obnoxious. You're humble. You learn and you keep moving. You keep shifting gears and you keep just building and building and pushing yourself to the top. And people admire about that. People admire that you're tenacious and you just keep going. You don't stop. That's something that a lot of people are not able to do. And even though it seems like this is easy to you and you couldn't imagine how other people find it so difficult, you just keep pushing, you just keep going. And other people wish that they had that same level of energy and motivation that you have. They don't know where you find it, and people really admire that about you. People admire how you are always kind of tuned into your own inner voice. You always sort of dance to the beat of your own drum, and you're not afraid to just be yourself in a world where people are always looking to the external for validation and reassurance of how to be and what to be. You never really look to the external. You may see the external, observe the external, judge the external, compare yourself to the external, but you don't look to the external as in others, other people's opinions and everything, as a final stroke of judgment for who you are. You're very cognizant of who you are, actually. You've done a lot of work on yourself over the years. And may I say, you're also very guided by the moon, and you're very tuned into the cycles of the moon. You transform. A lot of significant events happen for you around a full moon or a new moon, or for whatever reason, a waxing moon, I'm getting very specifically. And for some of you, waning moon. So anyway, you may want to journal some of the different experiences you have around different moon stages, and just keep a log of that over the course of the next few months and see if there's any repeating patterns around certain cycles of the moon. But yeah, you have a very strong connection to the moon. You may be a Cancer yourself. Or you may have a strong Cancerian placement in your birth chart, maybe in your moon sign. Oh, that would be interesting if you're a Cancer moon. So if you're not aware, you have your sun sign, which is basically the sign that you learn to grow into. You may not identify with your sun sign growing up because you're not quite at a place where you are 100% your sun sign. You tend to really feel more like your sun sign as you accept your north node in your birth chart, which is kind of the pathway or the journey, the goal, if you will, in your lifetime, where you're heading towards your main lesson or theme. Anyway, this is too much information. TMI, overload, overload, crashing, crashing. Sorry. I'd have to really sit down and explain the different placements, but basically you want to see if there's something important within your chart. Your moon sign is the you, who you are on the inside that most people don't get to see, except for maybe your closest loved ones, right? Might get to see this side of you. So you may be very much, you may have a very nurturing soul. Even if other people know that or not, you may be a very nurturing person. You may be a very psychic person, a very sensitive soul, very artistic soul. So you can be a mixture, a combination, or just a selection of some of the characteristics that I've mentioned. But people feel that warmth in you a little bit, except it's not always so obvious to them. They definitely feel like if it came down to it, you would kind of throw on your superhero cape and save the day. People kind of get that, odd impression of you. Even though for the most part you can come across as a little aloof and maybe even cold sometimes, but you're not really aloof or cold at all deep down. You're someone who's quite caring and quite sensitive to the cruelty that exists in the world. Okay, you're not an impartial person like a lot of people may believe. People just see you as always learning and always focused on your goals and your transformation. So sometimes people might get the impression that you're just too focused on things that have to do with you, right? Your goals, your needs, your journey, etc. But what they fail to realize is that it's your very transformation in this life that is what is allowing you to help others as well. So, I wouldn't worry about people thinking that you come off as selfish sometimes, because I only feel that those are a select few people who really, really don't have any context to who you are, who don't know you at all, who might have met you briefly or in passing, and those opinions are really not important because they're fleeting anyway, and that person is just going to go on to think about other things anyhow. People who have the privilege to get to know you see that you're someone who's very deep with a very beautiful, caring soul, and you do a lot for others that people don't realize at first. But like I said, when they get to know you, they see how much you actually do for others. That's my dog in his happy shake. So that's the confirmation there for you that yes, you're very caring. And, you have this beautiful deep depth to your soul. There's so much on your life path. You have a very full life path. You have a very interesting life path. Let me just put it this way, where you are right now, I know this is a side note, but where you are right now is totally distinct to where you will be even just 5 years down the line. I almost feel like your life changes so drastically much. And if it hasn't yet, you're still maybe 29 years old and younger, then you may have, just a whole different kind of experience 29 and above, you know, when you get into your Saturn return, and then you start to head towards your North Node. So that comes up a lot in this reading, North Node, North Node, North Node. So if you don't know where your North Node is, I would really, really take a look at that, because that's going to give you more of an idea of, you know, what the main goal or lesson is. What's the theme in your life, you know? Are you trying to be more spiritual? Are you trying to be more practical? There's so many different possibilities here. I would really, really take a look at the North Node. Take everything with a grain of salt, of course, and especially if you're 29 and older, you know, your North Node is something that you would really want to look at. Your North Node doesn't kick in until about 29, so, you know, if you're younger than that, then don't look into it too much. But just know that your life is whether it is now or not, is going to be a very interesting life of lots of maybe adventure and travel and change and transformations, possibly. You may have a North Node in the 8th house, Scorpio, even Sagittarian North Node. But anyhow, I'm going to stop talking about the Northern Node. Basically, you are someone who is going places, and people feel that energy as well. People feel that excitement. There's some kind of like fiery excitement that's just brewing, just beneath the cool layer of your outer skin. You know, it's almost like your outer skin is cool, calm, collected, but inside there's just this fire, this, you know, this quest, this constant need to learn more, and people feel that there's something very, very exciting about where you're heading. People get the sense that you're going places. So people admire that you are just always transforming, always going somewhere interesting, and you never stay the same. You're always evolving. People are very fascinated by the number of transformations you've experienced, and people in general, whether they know you or not, they admire your intense laser focus, and they see that you're going somewhere. Your energy is going somewhere. You yourself, you're going places. People admire that about you a lot. Yeah, just like this force, this energy, right? Just, I'm thinking, you know, just imagine a stampede. That's kind of your energy. It's just boom, 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 boom. You're just like, nothing can stop you. Nothing can get in your way. You're unstoppable. Really, really cool. So I hope you liked this reading, and I look forward to reading for you in a future video. Thank you so much for joining.